A lot of our viewers watched Breaking Bad, an American television crime drama. The series featured the life of Walter White, a 50-year-old chemistry teacher from the city of Albuquerque who was forced to manufacture methamphetamine with his friend to make money. It turned out to be a very strong and popular story. But today we will not talk about drugs and money. In our episode, we introduce you to a farmer who, at his 65, looks like he got a recipe of endless strength and health. Meet the famous arm wrestler from Rushmore, Minnesota. His name is Richard Lupkes.
I live in southwest part of Minnesota, little town named Rushmore, Minnesota. Population is around 200 people, very small. We're way in the southwest part of the state. Growing up here, I pretty much grew up here all my life. My wife lived only a quarter of a mile away, so that's kind of how we met. We were neighbors, and so we started dating when we were very young, got married when we were young. And 41 years later, we're still together, so it was a good thing.
It's time. Arm wrestling has never had such a big and strong arm wrestler as Richard Lupkes. The viewer will probably say, come on, there is a dozen of the top-level arm wrestlers who will easily beat Rich. But there is one but. Richard will be 65 years old in October. It is difficult to imagine how one can stay in this shape at such an age. Maybe Richard is a superhero? Look, he weighs over 140 kilograms. His height is 190 centimeters. He retains an incredible shape for his 65 years. Relief muscles, minimal amount of subcutaneous fat, no huge belly, broad shoulders make Lupkes look like a train that can crash anyone in its path and not even notice. Richard Lupkes terrified his rivals. For example, Denis Cyplenkov is one of the strongest arm wrestlers in the world, whom very few people could beat for 10 years. Even Denis takes Lupkes quite seriously. Even today Denis Cyplenkov says that this is a man to be looked up to. It didn't work because I underestimated Lupkes. As for Michael Todd, I knew that he was tough. You have to work hard with him, and then how it would go. And I underestimated Lupkes. I can say this, I hit a rock. I have never seen such a strong hook in my life. My mistake was only that I thought that by going into the hook, I would easily smash him, as I did, with others. And I went there purposefully myself. I should have kept him out of the hook. I had to pull back and not give him the opportunity. I would have retained more strength then. But, at that time, few people spoke about Lupkes. He disappeared for a while, then returned. Nobody talked about Richard's shape and his great strength. Then he returned to arm wrestling. Probably after 20 years. How long has he been away? He was gone for some time and where he had been was not clear. And so he returned and no one told me that he could be a super rival. I did not tune in for him and went into the hook.
Went back to the Arnold and lo and behold, Denis Cyplenkov, I hope I pronounced it right, from Russia was there. Huge man. So I thought, wow, that'd be interesting. I would love to pull him just to feel the strength of him. I mean, he's kind of legendary for the power the man has. And sure enough, lucky enough, I got to pull him in the second round, and we actually had a great match. I mean, we pulled for a little while, and then we slipped grips, went into the strap, and I had him so close to the pad, I just could not finish him, and I think I just tired out, and he finally he pinned me. But overall, I was still pretty happy the way I could pull with him back then. So that was all good. After that, we've just been kind of hitting a tournament here and there and trying to stay a little bit active and still going to the gym.
What else is known about Lupkes? Rich has saved a lot of photos from his youth, where he trains for arm wrestling. As you can see, Rich doesn't look like a truck here yet, but he probably himself did not suspect what potential and health reserve is hidden in him. In 1986, Richard Lupkes participated in the largest and most famous over-the-top tournament, the one Sylvester Stallone movie was based on. Where he took third place, behind 22-year-old John Brizeng. After that, Richard began to train very seriously and consistently won the 1988 and 1989 World Championships in the heavyweight division. In the late 1980s, Richard wiped out most of his rivals and arm wrestling stars.
Sign that they hung up in outside my hometown back in '88 when we won the first World Championship. Senior Citizens Club.
Richard Lupkes recalled, "There were two people I feared the most, John Brizeng and Harry Goodridge. Moreover, if Harry was distinguished by tremendous physical strength, then John was always a very smart fighter and exactly calculated what he needed to do to win." With a height of 190 centimeters and a weight of about 140 kilograms, Richard hung the same weight on his belt and performed push-ups on bars, with a total weight of up to 300 kilograms. Also, he used the classic biceps dumbbell curls while standing and sitting. Sometimes he did bench press and squats. Also, wrestling left a very big imprint on his sports career. You heard it right. Wrestling. Not arm wrestling. After the 1989 World Cup, Richard agreed to train at a professional wrestling school in Chicago, where he competed for WCW for several years. They wanted me to travel periodically to Japan for several months, but I have a wife and family, and I didn't want to leave them for such a long time. So I quit wrestling and returned to my hometown of Rushmore.
I tried my hand at some professional wrestling. They had a professional wrestling school there. So we went there. I think we lived there from about 90 to 94. So 4 or 5 years we lived over there. But I was doing good at the pro wrestling, but they really wanted me to go overseas to like Japan to wrestle. And we had 4 kids and a wife, and I didn't want to leave them at home. So we opted to move back to Minnesota, and here we are again. And you know, we enjoy living here. Life is quiet, not many people.
It was interesting while it was going on, recalls Richard Lupkes. Unfortunately, in 1991, at his best one might say, Richard interrupted his sports career due to injury, and, as it usually happens, he returned to the life of a simple farmer. By the way, it was not the end of his sports career yet, but it should be said that Richard Lupkes is a real modern farmer. Even back then, when he had the opportunity to retire and rest in peace, not caring about anything, he continued to look after his farm. Again, many would call him an old-fashioned man, but Rich is great at digital technology. He flies his small drone around his farm estates and controls what is happening. You never know, someone can try to steal something.
Let's see, for Father's Day, my kids and my wife all went together and bought me a, what'd you call it, a drone? Four propeller helicopter. Has a camera, GPS, crazy control thing. You put your iPad on it and you're basically watching where you're going on your iPad while you're flying it. The thing is, yeah, it's fun. I mean, the range on it is supposed to be 1.2 miles away, and I think it'll go up as high as 500-600 feet in the air. I've only gone, well, I flew it over to my neighbor's. My neighbor is probably maybe not quite a half a mile away, and I flew it over there and circled around over top and looked at everything there, you know, and then I flew it home. So that was kind of fun. It's a fun toy. Yes.
For this case, he has an anti-vandal kit. Lupkes loves to play with his .50 caliber 5-shot Magnum.
Most powerful handgun in the world. Boom. 500 Smith & Wesson. So big, only holds 5 bullets because it's so big.
This toy is very suitable for Rich. The recoil of such cannons sometimes blows people away from the point of fire. Rarely anyone holds such power in their hands, but this is not about Richard Lupkes. This 2 kilograms pistol looks like a toy in Rich's hands, so be afraid. Our hero Richard is the Terminator in the eyes of his fans. Our team also tried to make some shots from this gun and we liked it. But this made Richard a little laugh.
Where I should stand? Yeah, I heard it.
Fuck. Fucking Russian gun. I know why you surely not do.
Yeah, do you have something to hear? You have it?
The gun. The big gun? Well, you know, one of the nice things about living out in the country is you don't have to worry about your neighbors. So, you know, if you get company over, or like our sons like to come home from living in a big city, and they both own firearms, guns, why they can bring them out here and we can go out in the grove and shoot and have some target practice, and nobody cares because it's pretty common around here. Myself, I don't have that many guns, but I do have the world's most powerful handgun, the Smith & Wesson 500. And as well as you know, you got to shoot it, you and Igor, and it packs a pretty good punch. So it's fun to shoot that thing. The only downfall on that is it's like $4 a shell, but it's still fun.
The veteran made everyone talk about himself again in 2008, by winning a tournament in Columbus against legendary John Brzeng.
We went to the Arnold Classic in Columbus, Ohio, and I don't remember the year, maybe 08, 09, somewhere in there. And I thought, boy, this is going to be tough because, man, the who's who was there. I mean, we had Ryan Espy of Canada, Michael Todd, Timmy Bresnan, John Brzeng. I mean, the list of guys in my class was ridiculous. I thought, oh boy, what am I doing here? And I was over 50. I was the only guy over 50 in the supers. And lo and behold, I don't know how I did it. I ended up pulling John for the final match on Friday morning and beat him. So that put John and Timmy into the losers bracket. I was still in the winners bracket. Come back Saturday, Timmy ends up beating John Brzeng. And you know, John Brzeng taking third at a tournament was ridiculous. I mean, he's always on top. And so then it came down to me and Tim in the finals, and I was lucky enough to beat Tim there. So it's probably one of my more important accomplishments, because I mean, you earned it. There was so many good pullers there. I mean, it was, you know, to win over everybody, it was good, you know. I think I had, it's the luck of the draw, I know, but I think I had a easier bracket than some of the guys. In fact, I think I might even had a bye, I don't remember, but then I still had to go through John, and there was a big Canadian guy there, I can't remember his name, monster guy, he was very good too, besides Ryan. And then ended up pulling Timmy, and of course, you know, Timmy is one of the best in the world, and still is. So it was, yeah, it felt good to win that tournament. And then from there, you know, we just been hitting a few tournaments here and there. Did some pulling for Igor and the PAL. He has always the best talent because it's not just from here, but from Europe and all over. And that's some very tough competitors.
A couple of years later, Lupkes added the gold of the Amateur World Championship to his asset. Richard recalls of his fights in Nevada. My longest match was probably 2 seconds, so everything went well.
And then, let's see, 2010, the Worlds were held here in the United States. So we went to the Nationals, qualified. I qualified, actually I think I qualified in the Open, the Masters, and Grandmasters. I think I took first in all three. But the Worlds were here in Mesquite, and so I thought, you know what, instead of taking all the team places, I'm just gonna do the Grandmasters, and that way we can get more people to be involved. You know, I mean, it's not that often the Worlds are here. And so that way everybody has a chance to pull and have fun. And so we went to the Worlds. I just pulled Grandmaster, and I won the Worlds, which was good. Well, about 3 years ago, after I won the Nationals, U.S. Nationals, it was held up in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. I won 3 classes up there that day, so I'm not sure why it's still hanging on here. It's starting to look kind of old and faded like me, but
Richard sees great potential in these teenagers. Rumors say that Richard wants to try to compete again, because the body is getting older, but the soul, as always, is young. Who knows, maybe we will see our hero at the table soon. But Lupkes acknowledges that modern arm wrestling has grown a lot technically, and therefore he will have to change a lot in his training approach in order to keep up.
full week. Burpees.
Come on, Logan. Get him.
Oh, he's top rolling me.
Come on.
Oh, I got him back. Oh, all right. He's getting good.
He recalls, I was lucky enough to be competitive, but you know, these young guys are getting bigger and stronger every year. So it's only a matter of time, I think. By the way, do you know that Lupkes is an avid race car driver? Drag racing is his youth. You can see Rich's car, a bunch of motorsport achievement awards. This man's early years were not boring at all. We hope that his best moments are still ahead. After all, we would love to see this guy pulling and learn his experience. Perhaps one day, Rich reveals how he developed such a margin of safety so that younger athletes could use his experience.
10 seconds, come on, work. Come on, it's getting small. 7, 8, 9, 10, excellent. 2, that is perfect. 5, full stretch. 3, good control. 4, make your arms work. All right, you had a good workout today, buddy. Go home and recoup, stay out of trouble, and leave the girls alone. All right, you're good.